Was yesterday to protest Donald Trump ahead of his speech. Forced him and his entourage here, Secret Service in tow, to get out of the cars, abandon the motorcade, climb that embankment, cross the street, and walk into the hotel's back entrance. We'll have more on that in just a moment.
But first, what happens to Prince's estimated $300 million estate?
Yeah, a court hearing on Monday will start to lead to an answer to that question. But it will be complicated, a really complicated process, because Prince's sister says he did not leave behind a will. CNN's Sarah Seidner is live in Chanhassen, Minnesota. Sarah, good morning to you. And this comes as a law enforcement source tells CNN that Prince had prescription painkillers on him when he died.
Yeah, that source said that he had on his person, and also that they were in the house as well. We also learned of what happened here at Paisley Park at this compound over the past 5 years when it comes to service calls to law enforcement. There were 47 service calls to law enforcement, 4 of which were medical emergency calls. One of those, of course, was the day that Prince was found dead inside the elevator, but the other 3, we are trying to ascertain exactly what they were. We know that he puts on parties here, for example, so it doesn't necessarily mean that they were for Prince himself. But there is a lot of concern now after hearing from sources that there were opioid-based pain medication on Prince's person, and so there's a lot of looking into that at this very point in time. We do know, we have learned and ascertained that at least one of those medical calls had something to do with the parties that he puts on for the public here, called during one of those parties, and Prince wasn't involved. So now it's a question of what were the other 2 medical calls here. All the rest of the calls are things like suspicious activity or harassing phone calls, and so investigators are looking into all of that at this time. The big question is exactly what was in Prince's system, exactly what killed Prince, and that information we may not know for the next. They're working on the front lines to stop this epidemic of addiction to these opioid-based painkillers.
All right, I hope that's a little better. It's, what is it, 7:03 in the morning? Gotta go to work. Good morning to you, Kev Dog, Goody, Alan, Scott, Ian, Buckshot, Morning Crew, the Goonies. Love ya. Check this weird shit out, guys. Early in the morning already.
For the pills that they found on him and in his home, we are continuing to look into the story.
As they pointed out earlier, we have to wait for those toxicology reports, and those typically can take several weeks to come back. Sarah Seidner there for us outside of Paisley Park. Thanks so much. And we'll be talking more about this opioid epidemic.
Oh yeah, my other 2 shout outs is to my brother, my brothers, Ramon, Razor, Ramon, and Papa, the Puerto Rican buff sailor, and Mom Dukes. Yeah, I love y'all guys.
Well, it can't go a day without talking politics, and Donald Trump taking a break from campaigning today. His last couple events, however, have ignited some fierce protests in California. This was the scene there outside the California State Convention for the Republican Party yesterday. He had trouble even getting there after hundreds of angry demonstrators, as you can see, blocked the road, even clashed with police at times. This forced Donald Trump to then sneak in the back way. Didn't seem to faze Trump too much. He actually joked about this situation, saying he felt like an illegal immigrant crossing the border trying to get in. Now, he took a moment also to mention that he has now crossed the 1,000 delegate milestone. Listen.
We're going to hopefully close this thing out fairly soon. I think that, now that we cracked the 1,000 number, which is great, right? No, it's great. It's interesting, though. I'm up by 400 or so delegates. I'll be up by more than 500 when it's over, and we'll be up by 5 million votes, okay? And we're going to break this coming week, we break the all-time record.
All right, I want to bring in CNN producer.
And if you didn't know, Bush's all-time record is 10.8 million, and he's beat that. He's beat more votes than Obama had in 2008. So that's kind of amazing.